digging down.
What's going on around here? We're down on the ground with our shovels and our pails. We're digging down, down, down. Let's go! Digging down. There's no telling what we'll find when we go digging down. A subterranean surprise.
Digging down.
Are you looking for an ant's nest or a treasure chest? How about a dinosaur fossil? Are you trying to find a way down to China? We're digging down and anything is possible. Let's go! Digging down in a pile of dirt or a box of sand. When we go digging down, can you dig it? I know you can.
Digging down.
Woohoo!
It's Super Y and the Super Readers to the rescue.
With my magic spelling wand, I can spell the word dig.
Super Y, weekdays on PBS Kids or watch anytime you want at pbskids.org.
It's Dinosaur Train on PBS Kids.
This is so great.
Your ticket to adventure.
Look at all these footprints. Well, hello there.
There's family.
Buddy and Don, Mom, Daddy and Shiny. Then there's me, and my name's Tiny.
Fun.
La la loo.
And of course,
The Dinosaur Train.
all aboard.
High 4. High 3. High 2.
Watch Dinosaur Train weekdays on PBS Kids.
Those are some interesting rocks, Hooper.
And look, this rock's not even heavy. It floats.
Do you see anything special about it?
Wow, there are lots of tiny holes.
Do you think those tiny little holes help make it light?
Let's see. No holes in this one. Whoa, that was close.
Thomas and Friends is made possible in part by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Thomas and Friends, making tracks to great destinations.
Dear Christopher, here is your friend Thomas the Tank Engine. He wanted to come out of his station yard and see the world. These stories tell you how he did it. I hope you will like them because you helped me to make them. Your loving Daddy.
Percy and the Brake Van. One day, Percy was standing at the junction. He had a long goods train which he was taking to Tidmouth, but he had to wait for Henry to pass with a passenger train before he could go on. Henry was late, but the sun was warm and Percy didn't mind. At last, Henry arrived. "I'm sorry I'm late," he panted. "I had to wait for ages for the connection at the other railway." "Do you know," he went on, "that they have goods trains on the other railway that don't have brake vans? It doesn't seem right, does it? I'm glad to see you still got yours." The signal dropped and Henry thought he'd better go. "Must make up for lost time. Goodbye." Percy was intrigued. A goods train with no brake van, he thought to himself. Later, Percy told his driver what Henry had said. His driver laughed and explained. Goods trains on the other railway have special brakes. Like passenger trains and Henry's Flying Kipper, they don't need brake vans. Your trucks just have couplings, so they need brakes at each end of the train in case a coupling snaps. You know what stupid things trucks are? They did it to James on Gordon's Hill, remember?
Pa!
Scoffed Percy. He thought he knew better than James.
I know how to keep my trucks in order. What's good enough for the other railway is good enough for me. I don't need a stupid old brake van.
Don't be so silly, Percy, his driver scolded. But Percy took no notice. It would have been better if he had. A few days later, Percy was shunting trucks at the harbour near the big station. He was just completing his train by bagging onto the brake van when the shunter's attention was distracted. The shunter thought that he had coupled the brake van to the train, but he hadn't. The guard blew his whistle and Percy set off quickly, hoping to get a good run at the hill leading to the main line. But the guard and his van were left behind. The guard waved and shouted, "Stop, Percy! Stop!" But Percy didn't hear. He was too busy climbing the hill. All might have been well if Percy hadn't started so quickly. Unfortunately, the jerk had weakened one of the couplings. As Percy snorted up the hill, the weight of the loaded trucks dragging behind the weak coupling broke it. The last 4 trucks began to run back down the hill towards the harbour. The guard was standing on the veranda of his brake van. He looked on in horror as the trucks hurtled towards him. He ran quickly to his brake handle and checked that it was fully on. Then he jumped clear, just in time. The trucks battered into the brake van with a resounding thump. The van shuddered and screeched as it was pushed along the line, but it stood firm and stayed on the rails. The truck's mad rush was halted. Percy's firemen soon noticed they'd lost the tail end of the train. Percy backed slowly down the hill to see what had happened. "Phew!" remarked Percy's driver as they helped to clear up the mess. "You see, Percy, brake vans do have their uses after all." And Percy had to admit his driver was right.
Percy in a Muddle. Percy was feeling bored. Things have been too quiet around here lately, he told himself. What we need is something to liven things up. All the engines know from experience that whenever Percy is bored, that's when he starts feeling mischievous. That day, Percy was to bring Gordon's coaches to the platform in time for his next express train, but on his way to the carriage sidings, Percy suddenly had an idea. He giggled to himself. Then, ignoring the coaches, he hurried away to the sheds. Gordon was resting there when Percy arrived. Beep, beep! There you are, Gordon. The VAT controller said you're to stay in the shed. He wants to talk to you about something important. Gordon snorted. Oh, no, you don't. That's the oldest trick in the book. You know my next train is due shortly. No, it isn't, said Percy. Henry has taken the express already. It was a last-minute change of plan. Pah! Nonsense, snorted Gordon, and he puffed grandly towards the station. But when Gordon arrived, he was surprised not to find his coaches waiting for him. That's funny, he muttered. They ought to be here. And perhaps Percy was telling the truth after all. His driver wasn't so sure. If Henry has taken the express, then why are all those people waiting on the platform? That's what I'd like to know, fumed the station master. Where in the world are your coaches, Gordon? Gordon tried to explain about Percy, but the station master wouldn't listen. By this time, Percy was nowhere to be seen, so Gordon was forced to fetch his own train. When he was able to leave, the express was late, and the passengers were cross. When Gordon met Percy again later that day, he was fuming. So, Gordon, grinned Percy, did he talk to the VAT controller then? No, I was too busy trying to find my coaches. Sorry about that, Gordon. It was only a bit of fun. You should try it yourself some day. Then you wouldn't look so grumpy. And Percy puffed away, giggling. Gordon was about to reply, then stopped. Yes, he murmured. I think I will. That night, Gordon was due to pull his evening train. He won't be back until much later. Usually, it was the only time when Gordon had to shunt his own coaches to be cleaned and used for another train the following morning. But tonight, he had a plan. Before he left, he spoke to his driver and the yard manager. Then he puffed away with a big smile on his smoke box. The next morning, the firelighter lit Percy's fire first, so that he could arrange the big engines as trains. As he left the shed, he saw Gordon resting in a siding, and he remembered the trick he had played on him yesterday. What a clever trick! What a clever trick! He puffed quietly. But when Percy reached the yard, he got a big surprise. The yard was in an awful muddle. All the trucks and coaches were in the wrong places. Footplates and funnels! Exclaimed Percy. What happened? This wasn't how I left things yesterday. We better get this sorted out, and quick, said the driver. Otherwise it'll be chaos before the morning rush. Percy worked as quickly as he could, putting everything right again. He just couldn't understand how everything had become so muddled. By the time he brought the express coaches to the platform, the passengers were already waiting. And so was Gordon. Morning, Percy, said Gordon cheerfully. What kept you? What kept me? I've been trying to organise the yard. Everything was all wrong. I couldn't find anything. Oh dear, it must have been my fault. I might have moved one or two things about when I came back last night. Sorry about that. Gordon paused, and then added, But, after all, you did say that I should have a little bit of fun. You don't mind, do you? Percy snorted. Oh, no. Of course I don't mind, he said casually. Unfortunately, the Fat Controller did mind when he heard all about it. After speaking to Gordon and Percy, both engines thought twice about playing any more tricks for a while.
The island of Sodor is a wonderful place. Thomas enjoys puffing all over the island. There are lots of special places to visit. Where's this? That's right. It's Farmer McColl's farm. There are lots of farms on Sodor. They have fields of green grass and yellow waving wheat. At Farmer McColl's farm, there are cows and sheep and chickens. Thomas and his friends toot hello to the farmers and animals. One day, Gordon had to move cows to their new shed in Farmer McColl's field. Gordon was in a hurry. He moved away too quickly. The car doors weren't properly fastened. Luckily, Henry was waiting at a signal. He saw what was happening and knew just what to do to help. Henry chuffed off slowly towards the new shed. The cows followed. They were hungry. They munched on the hay on Henry's flatbed. Gordon learned it's better to be slow. Emily learned that too when she wanted to help Thomas. One night, Emily met Thomas at a signal. She had been to the carnival. Thomas really wanted to go to the carnival, but he still had a lot of jobs to do. Emily told Thomas she'd take his train to the farm so he could go to the carnival. But Emily didn't know the vans were full of chickens. Emily raced away. The chickens squawked and cawed, but Emily wheezed on. Thomas caught up with her. He told her there were chickens in the cars. They must go slowly, he puffed. Farmer McColl's farm is very special for one engine. And that's Thomas. One day, Thomas had been working very hard. He had lots of jobs. He still had to take chickens to the market, sheep to Farmer McColl's farm, and the children to school. By the time Thomas had picked up the children, Thomas was very tired. And he was getting confused. So Thomas took the chickens to school, the sheep to market, and the children to Farmer McColl's farm. But the children had a wonderful day. They helped Farmer McColl, and they were very happy to be covered in mud and straw. So that's why Farmer McColl's farm is very special for Thomas. There are so many special places on the island of Sodor. Next time, Thomas will show us somewhere else.
Thomas, Toby, and James need to collect their loads, but they don't know which load they will be pulling. There's a truck full of coal, there's a carriage for pulling passengers, and there's some crates full of bananas. Let's help the engines find out what they will be pulling today. Can you guess which truck Toby will be pulling? Let's find out. The track is very twisty. Toby chuffs around the corners. I wonder what Toby will be pulling today. It looks like the coal truck. Toby's taking coal today. Who's next? James. Which truck will James be pulling? James is chuffing and puffing, twisting and turning. Can you guess which truck James will be pulling? James has got the carriage. He must be pulling passengers today. Now it's Thomas's turn. You can guess which truck Thomas is going to pull, can't you? Here he goes. Nearly there? Yes, that's right. Thomas is taking the bananas. All the engines have found their trucks. Well done, Toby. Well done, James. And well done, Thomas.
It was a busy time in the yard, so Sir Topham Hatt asked the other railway to send another engine to help out. There was only one engine available, Devious Diesel. "You'd best behave," Percy told him sternly. "We don't have time for your tricks here, Diesel." Diesel smirked and ignored Percy. He had plenty of tricks in mind for his visit. As Thomas was waiting to take Annie and Clarabelle out, Diesel sidled up alongside. "Sir Topham Hatt says you have to wait, Thomas. You're not to run your train until the special crate arrives." Thomas was puzzled. He didn't know anything about a crate. What about the quarrymen? They'll be late for work. "Oh, but the crate is much more important, Thomas, and you can't let Sir Topham Hatt down, can you?" Reluctantly, Thomas agreed with him. He waited and waited, but no crate arrived. At last, Sir Topham Hatt arrived. "Thomas, why are you still here? The quarrymen are waiting to start work." "But Diesel told me I was to wait for a crate," Thomas protested. "I did not," said Diesel, feigning ignorance. "I was wondering why you were idling around here." Thomas was furious. He wanted to argue, but he remembered the quarrymen and hurried away at once to fetch them. Diesel slunk back to work, snickering to himself and planning his next trick. He found Gordon getting ready to take the express. "Don't rush, Gordon. The express can't leave until the special passenger arrives." Gordon was curious. "What special passenger?" "Oh, it's a secret," said Diesel. "They're running a bit late, but it's very important they catch the express." So Gordon backed down on the coaches and waited. The conductor blew his whistle and waved his green flag, but Gordon refused to leave the station. His driver and fireman argued with him and tried to urge him to start. "Come on, Gordon, we can't sit here all day." "We have to," said Gordon grandly. "We can't leave without the special passenger." "What special passenger?" demanded Sir Topham Hatt. "There is no special passenger, and your own passengers are waiting." "But no buts, Gordon. You'll have to go. Now hurry." Duck had been watching Diesel all morning. "I think it's time I taught that rotten old Diesel a lesson," he thought to himself. Later that day, Duck was shunting a row of freight cars into a siding when Diesel came into the yard. Duck was straining hard with them. Diesel watched Duck and laughed. "Pa, you don't know anything about moving freight cars." Duck saw his chance. "Oh, do you think you can do better?" "I'll show you," boasted Diesel, and he purred up to some waiting freight cars. What he didn't realize was that Duck was preparing old freight cars for scrap. Their wheels were very stiff, which made them difficult to move around. He buffered up behind them and began to push. They wouldn't budge. He growled and roared, but it did no good. "Move, you silly freight cars," he barked. Then he ran round in front and pulled as hard as he could, so hard that he shot forward. Diesel was so cross that he raced back and banged the freight cars angrily, but they still didn't move. He was preparing for another try when Sir Topham Hatt stormed over to him. "Be careful, Diesel. You can't be so rough with the freight cars when they need repair." "I told him that, sir," Duck called, "but you know Diesel. He won't listen." Diesel spluttered. "Duck," Sir Topham Hatt replied, "please show Diesel how it should be done." Duck buffered up gently to the freight cars and pushed them slowly and gently into place, whilst Diesel was made to stand sulkily and watch. That night, Duck told the other engines what had happened. Thomas and Gordon were very pleased. "I wish I'd been there to see it," laughed Gordon. "Serves him right," put in Thomas. "I bet Diesel doesn't think tricks are so funny now."
Thomas and Friends is made possible in part by and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
PBS Kids.
It's WordGirl.
There was a crime here.
WordGirl, we need your help.
When you're trying to catch a villain, every moment is priceless. Here you go, all done.
WordGirl, weekdays on PBS Kids Go, or watch anytime you want at pbskidsgo.org.
Tune in to Angelina Ballerina, the next steps for loads of fun.
I'm Angelina Ballerina.
And a stupendous time at Camembert Academy.
Really?
Join Angelina and all her friends as they discover new dances, close friendships, and new ways to have fun.
Absolutely, positively.
Watch Angelina Ballerina, the next steps, right here on PBS Kids.